T.I.'s son, King Harris, walked into jail thinking fame could protect him. But within minutes, everything changed. Privilege collided with prison reality. A brutal ambush went viral, and suddenly the Harris empire was on the line. Was it just reckless behavior? Or a calculated warning? Stay tuned, because what happened behind those walls is more shocking than anything you've seen online. King Harris, T.I.'s son, was arrested after skipping court and getting tangled in other legal issues. Honestly, it wasn't shocking. This is just who he is. The real story is how he reacted, because people aren't just talking about the arrest. They're questioning why a kid who grew up so privileged would go down this path. And King, he doesn't seem to care. In fact, he's out here openly mocking the police. But when you see the footage from the Georgia facility, it's clear things went way beyond just an arrest. King didn't just get jumped, he got wiped out. Slowed down frames show him sprawled on a concrete floor as alarms blare and guards rush in too late. One moment, he's striding down the hallway like he owns it, chin up and shoulders squared. The next, chaos swallows him. This isn't your typical celebrity meltdown. From the inside, it looks deliberate, like a warning. Not just to King, but to the entire Harris name. And make no mistake, King has made himself a target. The kid has a history of causing trouble in Atlanta, and it goes way back. It all began in 2022, a seemingly minor incident that would mark the start of a downward spiral for King Harris. Driving through Dunwoody, Georgia, he was pulled over for speeding. Authorities claimed he was allegedly under the influence, and to make matters worse, his license had already been suspended. On paper, it looked like a simple traffic violation, the kind most people would handle quietly, pay a fine, and move on. But King didn't handle it quietly. He posted bail almost immediately, flashing smiles for the cameras as if the entire situation were nothing more than a photo op. His demeanor suggested a lack of concern, an arrogance born of privilege, a belief that the rules applied to everyone else but not him. When his court date arrived, King didn't show up. Skipping a mandatory appearance is never a minor matter, and unsurprisingly, a bench warrant was issued for his arrest. This could have been a turning point, a moment for reflection, or even an opportunity to step back and lay low. But King's response was the opposite. Instead of hiding or showing remorse, he doubled down publicly. Social media became his stage, a platform where he mocked law enforcement, bragged about his defiance, and treated his legal troubles as if they were part of a story for his followers' entertainment. Every post, every story, every casual mention of the law chasing me fed into an image he was crafting. King Harris. Untouchable, unshakable, untamed. As months turned into years, the behavior didn't just continue, it escalated. King's online persona painted him as fearless, almost invincible, and he leaned into it heavily. Friends and associates noticed the pattern. A young man whose life had been carefully curated by fame and family privilege, now testing the boundaries of the system with each passing day. He wasn't just breaking minor laws anymore. He was flaunting his defiance, signaling to everyone that consequences didn't matter. This wasn't reckless teenage behavior. It was a calculated performance, one designed to shock, provoke, and maintain attention. By the time September 2024 rolled around, the legal system had caught up to him. The warrant that had been lingering for months finally resulted in a police escort into custody. But King's attitude remained unchanged. Walking into the detention center, he carried himself with the same confidence he had displayed in countless Instagram clips. Chin high, shoulders squared, and a smirk that suggested nothing and no one could touch him. Those who witnessed his arrival said he moved like he was on a stage, performing even as the reality of incarceration surrounded him. To King, jail wasn't frightening. It was just another backdrop for the persona he had created. A scene in the ongoing story of King Harris, son of a hip-hop dynasty. But the reality of prison life doesn't bend to celebrity. Within hours, his carefully cultivated persona collided with the harsh truths of incarceration. He had entered the system thinking influence and fame would shield him, but the walls of a detention center don't recognize family legacy. Other inmates watched, analyzed, and labeled him quickly. To them, he wasn't a person. He was a spectacle, a privileged young man pretending to understand hardship, treating the law as if it were a game. And in prison, appearances matter more than intentions. Your reputation can protect you or make you a target. King was learning this lesson the hard way, and it wouldn't take long for it to become painfully clear. During intake and the first days of custody, King continued as if he were on a reality show. He joked with guards, posed for reflections in glass panels, and casually referenced his father's name, T.I., as if it could shield him from the consequences of his actions. But every name drop, every show of bravado painted a bigger target on his back. Other inmates saw the wealth, the privilege, and the arrogance, and for them, that wasn't entertainment. It was a challenge. In a place where respect is earned through toughness and survival, King's public defiance and familial connections were liabilities. The situation reached a breaking point as whispers began circulating among inmates. They claimed King had debts to pay, favors owed for contraband, promises he couldn't deliver. Others hinted at darker possibilities, that his position as T.I.'s son made him a pawn in something far bigger than a simple arrest. Whether true or not, the effect was immediate. King became isolated, constantly watched, and viewed with suspicion. What had started as a speeding arrest and a missed court date had snowballed into a high-stakes, dangerous scenario, amplified by the very fame and family name that had defined his life. This chain of events, starting with a single traffic stop, demonstrated how privilege and perception can collide with reality in unexpected ways. For King, social media and celebrity had created a false sense of invincibility, one that could not survive the walls of a detention center. By the time he faced the legal consequences, the performance had become a trap. He had played a game for attention, and now the consequences were unavoidable, real, and unrelenting. In the end, what began in 2022 as a speeding arrest was never just about breaking the law. It became the first act in a long, complicated story of rebellion, defiance, and the stark realities of life under the weight of fame. It set the stage for a series of events that would challenge King's ego, test his survival instincts, and expose the vulnerabilities of the Harris family in ways no Instagram post could ever prepare them for. Inside the jail, King Harris's confidence quickly shifted from an asset to a liability. From the moment he walked through the intake doors, he carried himself like a reality TV star, rather than someone facing serious legal consequences. He joked with guards, posing for reflections in the glass and mirrors, smirking as if the cameras were still rolling. Every movement, every casual glance, every offhand remark seemed designed to show that he was untouchable, that his father's fame somehow extended protection over him. He name-dropped T.I. constantly, reminding anyone within earshot that he wasn't just any inmate, he was royalty in hip-hop, a legacy-born figure in a world that rarely cared about lineage. But the walls of a prison are blind to celebrity. They don't respond to fame, wealth, or social media clout. If anything, they amplify it. And King was about to learn that lesson the hard way. Other inmates quickly noticed his behavior, dissecting it and quietly mocking him. Hollywood, they whispered. Too rich, too loud, too soft. His past performances, his appearances online, even the stories of privilege from which he came, all became fodder for ridicule. Every boast about designer clothes, expensive vacations, or famous connections painted a target on his back. In prison, respect is earned through toughness, patience, and situational awareness, none of which could be bought or borrowed. No matter how famous your father was, King's continued braggadocio only made matters worse. He openly claimed that his family could handle anything for him, that no obstacle could touch him, that every problem had a prearranged solution. To outsiders, it might have sounded like confidence or even charm. But inside the walls, it marked him as someone naive, someone who underestimated the subtle, ruthless social dynamics at play. The more he flaunted his status, the more inmates saw him as a challenge to be tested. Before long, whispers of resentment and suspicion began circulating. The casual name-dropping, the jokes, the open display of privilege, what King thought was harmless fun became dangerous signaling. Inmates speculated about debts he could not pay, favors he might owe, and weaknesses they could exploit. In the blink of an eye, the young man who walked in with an untouchable swagger found himself under scrutiny, isolated in a new social hierarchy he did not understand. The prison system didn't reward fame. It hunted it, and King's confidence had just painted a bullseye on him. Then the ambush happened. Leaked footage shows King pacing in a hallway, freezing as three men appear. The camera glitches. When it clears, he's on the floor, motionless, while chaos erupts above him. Guards arrive seconds later, but the damage is done. Blood on the tiles, a swollen face, barely open eyes. It looked almost cinematic, too staged to be an accident. Who could pull strings? They both wanted their son safe, but they wanted it handled in very different ways. Tiny wanted to fix the image. T.I. wanted revenge. As King lay in the hospital, the situation grew darker. Screenshots appeared online claiming someone inside the jail was paid to leak the footage. Others believed the leak was strategic on purpose. Someone wanted the world to watch the fall of hip-hop's royal heir. Comment sections became brutal. He wanted to be street. Now he's learning what the streets really are. But beneath the jokes was a chilling question. If this was a planned hit, who planned it? Because every detail looked calculated. Guards disappeared at the perfect moment. Cameras glitched right on cue. The attack happened in the weakest security zone. That's not coincidence. That's coordination. And it didn't stop there. The exact week King's video went viral. Old legal claims against T.I. and Tiny suddenly resurfaced online. Fans think that timing wasn't random at all, like someone wanted maximum destruction. Maybe this was a reminder that the king of the South still has enemies in powerful places. Now, the Harris family seems like they're being dragged from luxury to chaos, from red carpets to hospital beds, with the world watching every stumble. And if King's assault wasn't just reckless behavior but deliberate retaliation, this story is nowhere close to over, because someone didn't just attack a young man in jail. They declared war, and the biggest question left is, who is calling the shots? And how far are they willing to go? After Family Hustle was canceled, T.I. exploded online, framing himself as a target of a smear campaign. He tried to act untouchable, calling it a beautiful day and brushing off the drama, while Tiny stayed quiet. But that silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. Tiny has always been the calm operator, thinking 2 steps ahead while her husband rages in public. Insiders say she's tired of constantly cleaning up T.I.'s public outbursts, tired of watching his pride turn every scandal into a spectacle. And when King's arrest added to the family crises, Tiny reportedly went into full control mode, consulting lawyers, freezing assets, and demanding protection for her son, while T.I. focused on saving face online. The family that once performed unity for cameras is now fractured by fear and ego. And some insiders claim the ambush of King might not even have been about him. It could be payback, a warning to T.I. that his enemies, whether from the streets or the corporate world, still have leverage. The timing is suspicious. King attacked in custody just as old court documents against T.I. and Tiny resurfaced, and Sabrina Peterson announced new filings. 1 week, legal drama. The next, viral footage of their son brutalized in prison. For anyone familiar with power plays in the industry, that smells like orchestration. Some speculate this retaliation comes not from street enemies, but from corporate ones, people with far more to lose than pride. And the Harris family's reactions seem almost scripted in panic. T.I. posts about loyalty, fake friends, and betrayal from within. Tiny keeps her public image flawless, sharing luxury travel posts and anniversary tributes, like a queen straightening portraits while the castle burns. Even their daughter Zonique is online defending the family, battling strangers in comment sections as if hashtags could save a reputation. Everything feels reactive, like they're watching their dynasty unravel in real time. Meanwhile, legal pressure keeps mounting. The ongoing defamation case with Peterson moves forward, with new counterclaims filed in October, bringing subpoenas, discovery, and the risk of more leaks. Add to that a lawsuit dismissed earlier this year, but still haunting headlines, accusing the couple of sedating and exploiting an Air Force veteran in 2005. Even though the judge threw it out, months of filings kept the Harris name trending. Some analysts see it as a coordinated storm, drag the family through legal mud, make the public question their innocence, then strike at their weakest link, the son. Former collaborators are quietly pulling back. Atlanta club owners who once returned T.I.'s calls immediately now claim schedule conflicts. Connections built over decades are freezing when scandal creeps too close to people's money. And the cruel irony? The fame that once shielded the Harrises now amplifies their collapse. Every headline about T.I. the mentor is paired with footage of King beaten in prison. Every story about Tiny's legacy with Xscape ends with reminders of lawsuits, leaked messages, and public chaos. What once protected them now exposes every fracture in their empire. The Harris name has shifted from a brand to a warning. People are starting to whisper that King's beating might just be the opening move in something bigger. Some former associates claim the family has been a soft target for a long time, and others hint that people close to T.I. might have helped leak the footage, for money or revenge. It's impossible to know for sure, but the coincidences are stacked like dominoes. The ambush happens just as talks of new federal reviews of old cases hit local gossip blogs. The same week, Sabrina Peterson's team drops cryptic posts about justice being served. Meanwhile, the official channels stay silent. No prison statements, no suspect list, no law enforcement comment. Silence that loud usually means someone powerful wants it that way. King's recovery is shrouded in mystery. Sources say he's under heavy medical supervision and guarded closely, speaking to almost no one outside the immediate family. Yet his social media flickers to life here and there. Brief stories, vague music snippets, nothing concrete. It feels controlled, like someone else is running the feed. And that's where the darker theories start. Some fans think the family is staging these posts to show stability while hiding how serious the situation really is. Others think King himself is playing the long game, documenting everything for a comeback story that could turn tragedy into opportunity. After all, he once said he wanted to be bigger than Michael Jackson. Maybe, in a twisted way, this is how his legend begins. Still, the damage to the family's foundation is undeniable. Courtroom battles, public humiliation, social media implosions, every scandal chips away at the empire T.I. and Tiny built. For years, they sold the image of a modern hip-hop monarchy, balancing power, loyalty, and fame. Now, that image is cracking under the weight of their own contradictions. The patriarch, once the model of discipline, seems desperate. The matriarch, who preached unity, appears to be plotting survival. And the heir, caught between both worlds, is too famous to disappear and too infamous to be saved. Fame has become their currency. And when your name is your business, every scandal becomes a transaction. Every lawsuit, every viral clip is another deposit in the public's fascination. Maybe King's ambush wasn't random. Maybe it was just the inevitable cost of turning a family empire into a decade-long reality show. Fame never forgets, it waits. And now we're left staring into the storm, wondering what comes next. Will the next leak expose who orchestrated the prison attack? Will court filings reveal hidden deals behind the scenes? Or will the Harrises reinvent themselves one last time, proving that even when royalty falls, it can still land on velvet? One thing is clear, the Harris legacy isn't just under fire, it's on trial. The next chapter could save them, or end them. The question is, can the so-called royal family of hip-hop survive this? Until the next drop, stay watching, stay questioning, and stay tuned. They